Bernie Sanders has sued the DNC. My question to you is, are you surprised at this revelation? Is this shocking? It's not shocking to me. I didn't see him actually suing the DNC coming. I saw that there would be problems within the Democrat Party. I knew Bernie Sanders did not have a chance because Hillary has way too many favors that she has to call in. Too many people owe her in Washington, D.C. for her to actually not get the nomination. It was supposed to be her nomination in 2008, but unfortunately, one Barack Hussein Obama took that away. So now she has to try to reclaim her power, to reinstitute the Clinton-Bush oligarchy that's going on. So there's no surprise that Bernie Sanders is having issues. He's saying that the DNC is not allowing him to access the voter data that is his, that belongs to him. The voter data is housed with a company called NGP VAN. And the reasoning behind the DNC not allowing him to access the data is because they say that his campaign accessed some of Hillary Clinton's data that they were not supposed to access. And the data was specific voter data that Hillary Clinton had collected, or her staff had collected, that says out of potential Democrat voters, who would most likely vote for Hillary and who would least likely vote for Hillary. What the DNC is trying to extrapolate from that is, okay, you're taking this data, so you're going to target the people that are least likely to vote for Hillary that are also Democrats to get them to vote for you instead. Now, the data included not just the number of people that would be least likely to vote for Hillary. It included phone numbers, addresses, it included a lot of data. So you could physically go after these people to help bolster your campaign due to information that was collected by Hillary Clinton and her campaign staff. Bernie Sanders' campaign is firing back and saying, hey, the data are available to anyone who wants to access it. It's supposed to be private, but it's not. And the data is not private on either side. So if Hillary Clinton's campaign staff wanted to come in there and look at my data or our data, they'd be able to do so because it is not secure. And that was the reasoning behind going in there to look at Hillary Clinton's data, was to show to the DNC that it was not secure. Now, I'm not sure how that makes any sense, because wouldn't the logical thing in that situation be to file a written complaint or take it to the media? Because if you do that, if you go in there and you manipulate and you try to access her data and you leaving markers behind, you're giving them ammunition. And you have to know how loaded Hillary Clinton is. You have to know who the DNC chairperson is. You have to know who's behind NGP VAN. See, I know who's behind those things. Well, I didn't know before. Not everything. I knew who's behind the DNC, but I didn't know about this company called NGP VAN. NGP VAN is essentially a company that collects and houses voter information data. One of the co-founders of NGP VAN is a man named Nathaniel Perlman. Nathaniel Perlman was on Hillary Clinton's campaign staff in 2008. He was the chief technology officer. At the same time, he still had his company, which at that point was just known as NGP Software. In 2010, him and a guy named Mark Sullivan merged to become NGP VAN. NGP came from Nathaniel Perlman's company, and the VAN came from Mark Sullivan's company called Voter Activation Network. NGP VAN is the same company that houses the data that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton use to, and the data, what they do with the data is they get their campaign staffers to collect data about voters. You know, are you more likely to vote for us? You know, what's your phone number? What's your email address? Stuff like that. You know, to send out email blasts, to do cold calls, to send them materials to their house, marketing materials, flyers, pamphlets, stuff like that. By the way, let's get into the actual rabbit hole here as far as Nathaniel Perlman. First of all, Nathaniel Perlman, like I said, he was the '08 staffer with Hillary Clinton. He was the chief technology officer. He now runs up NGPVAN, which houses the voter data for Hillary and Bernie. He also has a graphic design company. Now, I'm a graphic designer too, so I know kind of how this works with relationships. When you know somebody, you're able to do different things for them. It's like, okay, cool, I got my company. I'll do your graphic design. You know what? Okay, we got your email marketing through NGPVAN. What we're going to do is we're going to do a game run of 100,000 full color 4x4 booklets, and we're going to direct mail them. So give me a certain amount of money. We're going to do the actual data for you, and we're going to do the print and design for you as well. Plus, we're going to do direct mail. We can do variable data. We can do everything. And we can do maybe even your website. Put something on there that links to it. Matter of fact, I have an actual screenshot here of what a donation button looks like for Hillary Clinton, powered by NGPVAN. Now, my question is this. If this form right here, if you're able to get money through that, does NGPVAN get a cut off top? Because like many ticketing platforms like Eventbrite or even PayPal, if you pay through them, those companies take a piece off the top. Now, if NGPVAN is like an actual company like Eventbrite or PayPal, where you can actually pay through them and not go through an intermediary, then they're taking money off the top. So Perlman's able to get it a few different ways. He's able to get it first from the actual donations. He gets his service fee off the top, maybe 1.5, 2%. He'll put that money in his pocket. That's mailbox money. Then he has NGPVAN, the data collection side of it. So you're able to have a bunch of addresses, phone numbers, gender information, different things, and you're able to create marketing materials to mail out. And direct mail, that's money in the bank right there. If you're able to, let's say you send a proposal to Hillary and you say, okay, we're going to mail out these Hillary Now pamphlets to 100,000 households. Okay, I need $1.50 per house plus shipping plus my design fee. Right? And then your design fee comes from your graphic design company. It makes sense, really, logically. If you have a company that collects data with mailing information and you got a situation where you're able to have a multi-million-dollar budget at your disposal in Hillary Clinton's campaign, it makes sense to have a graphic design company latch onto that so you're able to have a big client in-house that you can feed. It's just basically serving the need of the client. I would do the same thing if I had that kind of resources to do it. I'm a graphic designer, but if I had a multi-million-dollar company in my back pocket that was wanting me to do stuff and they say, hey, we need somebody to do direct mail, I'll go out and get me a data mining company or a print company, a print shop. They probably got the whole thing over there, Graphic Casey. I haven't even really gone through their website, but I'm sure they have all of those capabilities at their disposal. But what I wouldn't do is abuse my power and use it to defraud people or prevent people that my client is running against from being able to run a fair campaign. And that's the whole question here. Now, Nathaniel Perlman, when he was the chief technology officer of Hillary Clinton's campaign staff in 2008, he supervised the campaign's IT director, a man named Brian Pagliano. Brian Pagliano, if that name sounds familiar, he actually got called in front of the Benghazi hearing, in front of the Benghazi committee, and pleaded the fifth because he was the one that set up Hillary Clinton's server in her house while she was Secretary of State. You see, it's coming together now. It's starting to make sense. Nathaniel Perlman also went to high school with a man named David D. Camillus in Boulder, Colorado. David D. Camillus has a company called Platte River Networks. Platte River Networks won a bid in 2013 to house, guess what? Hillary Clinton's email server. See how it works? You see how Washington politics are? Platte River Networks also currently or formerly employed top Clinton political operative David Goodfriend. Mr. Goodfriend was hired through a company called Dovetail Solutions, which is a PR company that was brought on to handle the whole Hillary Clinton mess. He is a big power lobbyist in Washington who's friend of John Podesta. John Podesta is the current chair of Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign. He's also the chair and counsel of the Center for American Progress. Now, guess who Nathaniel Pearlman's company, graphic design company, Graphic Casey, has as a client? You guessed it, Center for American Progress. You see, it's just it's like you washing money. It's like a little money laundering operation going on. This is why Hillary Clinton has so much power in DC. I'm not even done with the actual rabbit hole. Let's go back and start up from the beginning with NGPVAN. This is the company that has caused all the problems. This is the company that houses all the data that Bernie Sanders is suing the DNC to actually get access to, because they revoked his access, which disables him from being able to use the data that he's collected on there that belongs to him, first of all. Second of all, he can't use it, so his staffers are not able to access people's emails, phone numbers, and whatnot to send out their campaigns, their campaign ads, to do cold calls, to check up on them, to do polls. They can't do anything, so it sets them behind on that end of it. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton has full operational capability. She has the ability to access a server and do whatever she wants with it. To access the system, I should say, not the server. Now, this company, NGPVAN, has a man named, I'm not gonna pronounce his first name and get it messed up. I'll put his picture right here on the screen before you. But his last name was Wasserman. Does that name sound familiar? If it does sound familiar, you'd be correct, because Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the chair of the DNC, and she is the one that sent out the statement that said why Bernie Sanders was blocked from getting access to the actual data that's on NGPVAN's system. I've been searching online all day, and I haven't seen anything that says definitively if Wasserman and Debbie Wasserman Schultz are related. But I see that the male Wasserman, the younger one, he's from the Jersey area, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz is from New York. Maybe it's a coincidence they have the same last name, or they had the same last name. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure if they're kin or not. But if they are kin, it will make a lot of sense. You know, here you are, you have Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's friends with Hillary, who's been dealing with her for a long time. You know, they've been in Washington for a long time together. You have this young guy who could be her nephew, and she's calling him on the phone, telling him about the whole situation with what Bernie Sanders did. Or they're at the dinner table with him, his dad and Debbie are related, or they're cousins or something. It makes sense. It all kind of just flows together. This is this is probably why Bernie Sanders has gone to the extent of suing them. Because I don't think it's as simple as just withholding data. It's a deeper issue that he's suing over. I'm not even a Democrat or a liberal by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a 100% conservative, right? And I'm proud to be conservative. I'm not going to vote for the man, but I'm rooting for Bernie Sanders, because this right here is pure corruption. Plain and simple. There is no other way to describe it. If you think what I'm saying is far-fetched, I have links to everything. I have the full lawsuit. I have the actual log of the system that was recorded that showed what Bernie's campaign did and or what they alleged they were trying to do. I have links that show you the tree that shows how Podesta and DeCamillis and Pagliano and Perlman and Washington and all of those guys are connected. It's all money washing. And that's how it goes in Washington, D.C., especially with the Democrat Party. This is why people, again, are turning to Donald Trump. They're turning to Ben Carson. They're turning to these outsiders that are not down with their whole thing, because the American people are starting to see it. And the situation here, I don't even think the average person is even aware of. That's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.